when I was doing that other side, this wasn't the plan. What I was trying to do fucked up, and I kind of stumbled into doing this. So it was like, oh, it worked out really cool. But then I didn't really realize, pay attention to how I did it, because I stumbled onto it of a couple failures and some saving, and I'm like, oh, this is going to work. Went ahead and hammered it out. Well, when you do that and you come to the other side to duplicate that, you got to realize what you did to make that, and I didn't. So this is working out. I'm happy with it so far. Get it on the car. It may talk a little different, but right now, so if you see this is bowed this way, there's a body line. That's the lower body line that's still in the car over there. That's this body line. And because the wide body, then we're bumping the body back in and getting the body back to the normal width at the back of the cars. So this thing actually has a purpose two ways. It gets us back to the width of the car on the bottom, so it ain't so wide at the bottom. And then it lightens this panel up by putting that in there so it doesn't look like a wet diaper on the back of a baby. And then also has that body line that we needed to put back into the car. So, with all that said, I lucked into doing it on the other side. I had to figure a way to duplicate it here. My ideas seemed to have worked. A lot of hammer and dollying to get it in. A lot of work still to go into getting this panel to actually fit on the car right now, but it's very rough. It's long everywhere. I got to trim it down and do some more works. But here we go, very rough, very thin section. So that's the rear quarter panel with a sexy little dip in. And then, like I said, these will all be broke basically along this dotted line. Will be the back of the car. I'll break all that over and put some shape into all of that. And this will be from the body line down, lower quarter panel section.
Is this side going easier than you thought?
It's just you know what you're doing. The hard part is duplicating and getting the shape and everything the same. The hard part on the first side was getting started. We make cardboard templates all day long. That's step one. Then take that template and put it onto the metal, cut it out, step two, but now we have a flat piece. So you got to race through your mind and figure out what tools we're going to use, what techniques and what steps to making that panel actually fit the car and flow and have shape. That's where that time comes in on the first side. The second side, you got that already all figured out, so you wham bam and you just go right into doing all that, so you're saving time there. But then you got to get to like this section and slow way down and start measuring curves and links and body line spot to make sure both sides are the same. So it's just metal work. It never goes fast. There's no fast way of doing anything. If you go really fast, that's what you have when you're done. A fast piece of shit. You take your time, you do it right, and go through all the steps and work it all out. It takes a long time, but you have a really nice product when you're done.
Don't stop singing on my account.
I ain't no fool. I'm running over here trying to capture a good moment. They'll be wanting me to get me paid to sing too, and
Give you some royalties.
I gotta focus on one job at a time. I can't be singing and metal fabbing.
I'll film your music video later on.
See, I could just sing a couple songs and be a multi-millionaire. That's too easy. I'd rather just bend metal the rest of my life and be broke as a joke. Get some more out twist up on it.
So you're basically just using the templates to keep everything even on this side?
Yeah, you take that template and reverse it backwards and make a piece on this side. And you still got to make the whole piece in reverse, but it just gives you in the ballpark of it's the same shape as over there. Now we got to get all the other shapes to make it look like it's flowing the same as over there. like over on that side, this is kicked out more, so I got to put a lot more twist in. Get some twist going on it. It's coming. We got the quarter panel all made and the rear scoop made. This is the first part for the front fender, which is the hardest part. Get this down, and then it's the front corner, so the headlights are in here, and this will tie into the top of the fender, and then the side bulge of the fender will tie into here, so there'll be a weld around here. And then once all that's made, we'll make the back section of the wheel well, which has a scoop in it, and then we'll come back and put the wheel lip in. Multiple pieces, but once we get this piece under our belt, we'll be downhill from there. Hopefully I ain't jinxing myself, but there's a lot of shaping going on into this piece, and to make it fit the car, and then also to make it visually the same from side to side, because this right here, you can see both sides at the same time from the front.
You better be close.
Right.
Has it been hard to match the other side though?
It's not, it's hard, yeah, I'm not gonna lie, but it's not as bad as what everybody thinks. And the reason is I can take both sides apart still and work the other side that's done to match this side, if this side, if that's easier. I'm trying to make this side match that side. But if I did something to this one, like if you put too much shape in, you can't take it out. But I can also take that other side apart still and put a little more shape in it to make that match this side now. So I have that power, like if that other side was all welded on and I was just building this side from scratch to match that, makes it a little bit harder. I have to be a lot more careful. I don't have to be as careful because if I do get in a situation, I can do that. Not that I want to, I don't want to take it back apart, but I have that option. So it just gives you a little peace of mind, a little more courage just to knock this side out. But so far we haven't had to do that yet. On the back quarter panel, I got to take this side that I'm working on off and put a little more curve in it on the top bulges to match the other side, just in measurement wise. But that's expected, right? So you got to get it made, then stand back and look and see where actually you got to put some more time. So that's where we're at right now. I got this piece is probably 90%. It's fitting pretty good. I'm finessing a few things on it. We'll get this screwed back into place, and then today I'm gonna start making the top lip of the fender, get that on and tacked into place, and then I'll start making the back drop. We got open house coming, so I'm gonna try and have both sides of the car completely in bare metal all made, so people can actually see what the hell we've been talking about. I almost rather remake a door skin than to grind all this shit off. I'll sand that off real quick. I didn't realize it was like a 1/4 inch thick. So you can't see two sides at one time, but from the front you can see both of these sections at the front of the car. And this section was a little bit leaner than the other side, so I'm trying to fatten this corner up to make the bulge off the headlight the same from both sides from the front end view. Got this little thing here. That's the actual curve from the headlight point to the other side, so we're really damn close now. Where this was too flat before, there's a bunch of air gap right here.
What is that tool? That's cool.
So this is like I don't even know what they call it. All these little needles. So if you flatten this out on the table where it's flat, I'll go ahead and do it. I can always bring it up again. But flatten it out on the table. Get it as flat as you can get it. Now it's got no shape to it, right? So then we want to measure this shape. I had a line here, but it's gone. So you push that down on there.
Ah, okay.
See, it holds that shape. Now I can go over to the other side of the car or go wherever you want to go and then put that up to it and make sure you can see the daylight wherever it's at, whether it's too high or too low or just right good. So they'll make different size ones. I actually need to get a little bit longer one to go all the way down the car. So every 6 inches I'll hit this on there. We'll make sure both sides are pretty consistent. You can have a little bit of differences, but not a lot. If it's got a lot, we gotta take the panel off and fix it to where it's really close. And then once I got both sides really close, we put these back in the toolbox and keep rocking to the next steps. But this is a big tool in the future process of building the body. Can't look at both sides at one time, but with this we can follow back and forth. And this will make sure that both sides are really close. We want them as close as possible. In the body shop, they'll spread some mud on there and sand it really thin and dial everything in. Any slight imperfections, they'll actually be able to get out a little bit more to make it exactly perfect as we can get it. But just like this section right here, like I said, it was a little too low. The hammer and dolly did all the working on that now. So now they both follow the curve really well. We can walk over to that side and check it real quick. I just showed you that's right there. So you see there, it's really close. Going from side to side. That's how, like, other than eyeballing, if you got one of these, you can really get it dialed in that way. Same thing up here. So from the door gap going this way, every 6 inches we'll step this down. So at this line at 6 inches on both fenders, we'll measure, make sure they're both good. If this one has a little flat spot in it, we'll curve it up more, or whichever side. Once all of that's done, then we'll go ahead and weld them all on. But key ingredient right here. I'll be mad at this thing before the end of the day, guarantee you.
Looking good.
Getting there.
Looking like the other side.
Yeah, I was off almost an inch, so I had to revisit this. I had this too wide, so I had to push it in, recut it. I got it all shrank down. I'm in the numbers now. I just gotta get everything square before I re-weld that, make sure I'm good. But yeah, now I'm 17.5 inches from the frame to the corner on both sides. Same number on the front corners. So now I know they're both radius. And when I made it, I was flipping this one upside down and matching it to the other side. The split's in the same, and the end's in the same. All that was the same. It was following the same. It's just that this end of this fender didn't curve in as much. It was out a little bit. So when I made this fit the fender and everything, it was all great until I got the tape measure out, and then I was an inch off. I'd take this back off this morning, get that bent in a little better. I'll put it back on, and I had to recut that to help justify for that flow because it curves in more. I'll re-weld this and trim that off and I already trimmed this bottom flange. So we're back in the game now. It's just making sure everything's straight before I do a final fit. Just all part of it. Like I said many times in the other videos, we can unscrew it or uncleco it, make adjustments to both sides. That's exactly what I meant. Eyeballing it looked great. Tape measure told us different. So we undid it, made some tweaks this morning, twisted around, trimmed some off. Luckily this side was too big. It's easier when a side's too big to shrink it down, meaning trim some off and tuck it in tighter, than adding to and welding and metal finishing. So it was a quick, easy fix. Not easy, but quick fix this morning. We got that behind us. Now I'm just dialing it in, the fit and flow of how square and flat everything is. Got to be flat out this way and flat front to back. Down a little bit in this corner. It'll push up. Got plenty of movement. I just got to get it pushed up to where it wants to stay there relaxed. I don't never put a panel on that's stressed. Like I don't want to push it up and put a screw in it and weld it, because then it's always under tension. And with the heat, once you put the heat in there, that tension can come back to haunt you. So if that panel stays nice and relaxed just like it is now, and that's where it needs to be, when I go ahead and weld it in, there's a chance that that panel won't move very much. So that's the key goal, to have everything just hang on their body with just a couple screws or clecos, and it just relax fit. Then you know it fits. If you have to put a bunch of screws in everywhere to hold the panel down, like you see that, that's tension right there. I need a hammer and dolly that's a little more to get that to lay flat. So if I push that down and put a screw in it and weld it, it'll stay. But that tension can harm me down the road, and I can't get in there and hammer and dolly that. So we like to get everything to lay flat. And the screws that you see everywhere are just holding the panel against gravity so that they stay on the car. They're not holding the metal down and in place. It's just holding the whole panel on the car. And this is a prime example. That little bit. I could easily push that down and cut it and weld it in, or I could hammer and dolly it a little more and get it to lay flat and relaxed. Flat and relaxed is your end goal. If it's flat and relaxed, metal finishing will be easier. Sometimes it takes more patience than what somebody has. Sometimes you just run a big screw in it and roll with it.
How the hell with it?
I ain't gonna lie to you.
I'll make it fit.
This ain't no perfect world. We'll try our best, but sometimes we just get bigger screws and drive her home. No, it comes back to haunt you in the end. You try to make a super nice product. If you cheat anywhere, it comes and gets you in metalwork.
Thanks for watching. If you want to see more build videos like this, help us out by liking, commenting, and subscribing to our channel. And it's a little thing to do, but don't forget to turn on those notifications. If you want to buy merch, go to store.classiccarstudio.com. See you next time.